And welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm your host. I actually have a panel of experts with me tonight. It's not just me, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing a show on the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America, Connecticut, Take Strides, Walks for Crohn's and Colitis. And with me to discuss this evening's topic are Amy Saraco, Jake McPhee, and Mary Kate Doherty. Guys, welcome. How is everybody tonight?
Great.
Everybody okay?
Doing well.
Good. So I was wondering, Amy and Jake, can you just share your symptoms and treatment with us?
You want to go, Jake?
Jake, you want to go first, or you want Amy to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I was just diagnosed last January, but it was pretty severe. I had gone into the emergency room with pretty bad pain, and they took my appendix out, and that's not really what it was. And I followed with a GI, and we found out that I had Crohn's, and it was so severe that my intestine was strictured. So needed to go on a liquid diet and have pretty emergent surgery.
Okay.
So diagnosed and surgery all in the span of 2 months.
How you feeling?
Doing okay.
Doing okay? Good.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. I'm on medication.
All right.
So yep.
Okay. Jake, how about you?
I was diagnosed last year as well. I was in 5th grade and it took me forever. And basically my symptoms are obviously eye problems like I'm having right now.
Okay.
And I have very bad stomach pain.
Okay.
And it's just like right here and it hurts really badly.
Oh no. You doing okay though?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Mary Kate, for those of our viewers and listeners that don't know, what is Crohn's and colitis?
Sure. Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis are both inflammatory bowel diseases.
Okay.
So as the name would indicate, it affects your GI tract. Crohn's disease can affect anywhere in your GI tract, from your mouth to your anus.
Okay.
Ulcerative colitis only affects your colon and only the first layer of your colon.
All right.
But as Jake indicated, there are extraintestinal symptoms that a lot of our patients have to contend with. A lot of our patients have eye issues, joint issues, skin issues, and significant joint pain.
Okay.
So yes, they're contending with the GI issues, but also a whole host of other activities. And these are both autoimmune diseases. So it's your body attacking itself. We don't yet know the root cause. We've kind of narrowed it down to there is a genetic factor for about 20% of our patients.
All right.
And there's some type of environmental trigger
Okay.
that kind of, causes your gut to be out of whack.
Okay. Now, I'm actually just looking at my research and my notes. I guess 1 in 6 million Americans have the disease? Is that
1.6 million Americans.
1.6 million, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's actually 1 in 200. 1 in 200 people,
Wow.
about 18,000 people in Connecticut, including about 900 pediatric patients.
Okay. Now, what are how can you find out if you have Crohn's disease?
Sure, and I'll kind of let Amy give you the rundown in
Please.
terms of the various scopes and.
Mine was pretty severe
Okay.
by the time I found out, but
All
I
right.
did live with it. I know for a while
All
for
right.
it to have the damage I had. But to find out, it basically entails a colonoscopy, a GI series, X-ray, MRI, all different types of imaging, and biopsies, and then it can be diagnosed.
And obviously, you can correct me if I'm wrong, once you're diagnosed, they put you on medication?
Yeah, and it's usually, they step the treatment up.
Okay.
Unless, you start off pretty severe.
Right.
Then you go right to the big guns.
Exactly.
So, right, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And is it for your treatment, for example, is it something that do you have to be hospitalized to undergo treatment, or is it something Like medication at home?
Yeah, I'm on a biologic that
Okay.
is injectable.
Okay.
So, yeah, I have somebody, my husband does the injections twice a month,
Okay.
so.
And Jake, what about you?
Me?
Yeah.
I go to the hospital to get my medicine.
Okay.
It's basically just an infusion.
Okay, sure.
And then I also take some medicine at home.
All right. Mary Kate, do you have anything else you'd like to
Yeah,
add?
there's, these
Please.
diseases they vary patient to patient. So there is not one
Right.
prescribed course of treatment. So a lot of our patients are periodically on steroids. A lot of our patients are either on a self-injection or an infusion, as Amy and Jake have indicated. And then there's a whole host of other medications that will address the symptoms in terms of diarrhea, cramping. Our patients can also experience constipation. So there's prescribed medications as well as some over-the-counter that can help with some of the symptoms.
You know what we didn't do when we started the program? My opening monologue. So Mary Kate, tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you do for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation?
Sure. So I'm actually employed by the Connecticut chapter of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation,
Sure.
and I serve as the Take Steps Walk Manager.
All right.
Which I think we'll talk about Take Steps a little later in the program.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's an event coming up. That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
All right.
But yeah, we have Crohn's and Colitis Foundation offers a great many patient services. We have a very robust research program into both of these diseases to try to discover the root cause and then address the cause as opposed to just the symptoms. So that's.
I was going to say, tell us a little bit about some of the research programs that you guys have.
Sure. So the foundation funds external research. So we've got an active grant at Yale New Haven Hospital at the moment. We also conduct our own research. One of those programs is actually a patient-powered research program. It's called CCFA Partners. So patients, such as Amy and Jake, can sign up to answer surveys every 6 months or so. And they can also pose questions to researchers, and the researchers will kind of filter through those questions and determine which are the most robust and which would really warrant coming up with a full research hypothesis and white paper. So it's an opportunity for patients to kind of track their disease management, but also contribute to research by submitting their lifestyle habits in terms of their nutrition, their diet, their sleep habits, and how their disease is impacting that and how those habits are impacting their disease. So great program for patients to get involved with.
I was going to say, does the disease impact sleep habits and
Very much.
the way you eat and the way everything happens?
Yep. Yeah, very much. I mean, for me, I can speak. I know
Sure.
Jake probably has a story too, but yeah, you have to watch what you eat. Certain things are triggers. Certain foods are triggers, and I think everybody's different with what they can and can't eat. And,
Right. Exactly.
how they sleep at night.
Exactly.
So.
I was going to say, I'm sure between both of you, there's been some nights where you just
Yes.
are up all night, like
Yeah.
laying in bed.
There's a lot of pain. Yeah.
Jake, how about you?
I never sleep.
Oh no, really?
I have to take melatonin.
Yep.
Yeah, and it sometimes still doesn't work for me.
Really? Oh no.
I'll stay up till like 1 o'clock at night and then get a little bit tired.
Yeah. And then finally, hopefully, fall asleep.
And
so
then
you
when I
can
wake up
actually-
in the morning, I get crabby.
Oh no. You know what? Me too. I get if I'm like up, if I go to bed and I wake up. I did this the other night. I went to bed and woke up. I'm like, oh great, it's almost time to get up. I'm gonna beat my alarm. Got up, rolled over, looked at my alarm clock. It was 3:15. The alarm wasn't going off till 6:30.
Definitely beating that alarm.
I'm like, now what? So I'm like, okay. Laid there for about 5 minutes, turned the TV on, fell back asleep, woke up, and it's like, boy, and I walked into my office. My admin looks at me. You look like hell. I'm like, thanks. So what else can we talk about during the first segment? Actually, Mary Kate, before we go into, we've got a few minutes left. From what I understand by doing my research, there's a walk going on.
There is indeed.
From what I understand. Let's talk about it.
Great. So we host the Connecticut Shoreline Take Steps Walk, and that is scheduled for Saturday, October 24th.
Yes.
We're going to be at Hammonasset State Park in Madison, starting about 8:30 in the morning. Okay. It's a half-day event, so we'll start at 8:30 and wrap up around 1 o'clock. We host a festival. So we'll have a DJ, refreshments, kids activities, team and mission-based activities that folks can participate in. Okay. We will do a ceremony where Jake will actually be speaking. He's one of our honored heroes. Really? And we also have an adult honored hero, Angela Caffarelli, who will be speaking as well. Really? The walk itself is slightly over 2 miles, and folks can choose to do all of that, part of that. The walk is really the most low-key portion of the day. All right. Really, the festival and the patient recognition ceremony is really where we want to engage folks. The walk is lovely. Hammonasset is beautiful that time of year. Yes, it is. So for folks who are feeling up to it, it's just slightly over 2 miles. All right. We'll go from West Beach down to just about the Meigs Point Nature Center and return.
Know that area very well.
So yeah, we'll have some raffles on site, plenty of food, plenty of entertainment. It's a very, very family-friendly day. Cool. So really want to encourage folks to come out and support the cause.
And if people want more information on the walk, he tries to say, where should they go?
Absolutely, yeah. So our website is pretty robust. That is www.cctakesteps.org. Okay. And they can also contact me, mkdoherty@ccfa.org.
And on the website, what types of information can people find?
So on the walk website, we've got all of the walk details, all of the teams are listed, our sponsor recognition is there. As we get closer, we'll post the entertainment schedule, the food menus for breakfast and lunch, so people can plan accordingly. Very nice. If outside of the walk, if folks want to visit our foundation website, that's a veritable treasure trove, so they can get a lot of patient service information at ccfa.org.
All right, we'll be right back after a short break.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with my panel of experts talking about the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of Connecticut. And from what I understand, we're going to watch a video right now that explains exactly what Crohn's and colitis is.
My son was diagnosed with Crohn's 3 years ago when he was 8 years old. It was probably one of the most difficult days of my life.
I have one who's had it for 4.5 years. He is now 11, and I feel like he's lost a little bit of his childhood because of it. He's missed countless days of school, soccer games, birthday parties.
Take Steps is awesome. It provides opportunity to meet other people living with Crohn's or colitis.
It's not just really about the walk. It's about getting together as a community and forging this relationship that says we are going to continue to beat this thing. We're going to continue to fund research that's going to get at the cure.
BJ is always at risk of missing more school. You never know when you're going to have a flare. He missed a whole year of school because he was so drained physically. He lost about 25% of his body weight. It went from 60 pounds to 45 pounds. And he was just so fatigued. He'd get up in the morning and then go straight to the couch. And he wasn't able to focus and do any of the things as a kid. And then when he started to get a little bit better, the disease continued to flare on him. And they talk quite a bit about the potential to really have a cure for this in the next 10 to 20 years, which is just amazing, which is why we love CCFA and try to support them so much in their mission to try to find a cure.
I've not missed any school this year due to my disease. Crohn's disease has not stopped me.
CCFA played a major role in almost every major research development over the past 10, 20 years.
They're taking the lead in genetics, they're taking the lead in microbiome, they're taking the lead in a whole host of areas that has been critical to advancing the field.
My fundraising tactics is I am not shy. I feel like you can't be shy. It is so personal for me because it's my children. And you have a 6-year-old kid, a 6-year-old boy with Crohn's who's suffering. People feel for you.
I take steps because it reminds me to hold on and it gives me hope.
So my brother can have a better life.
People are not alone in this walk.
I want to make life better for people with Crohn's.
I take steps for Camp Oasis.
Because I want to find a cure for people who have Crohn's just like me.
So that we can one day hopefully find a cure for Crohn's and colitis.
Because I want to find a cure.
So my son doesn't face the challenges or struggles as he tries to fulfill his dreams.
And welcome back. And we just watched a very informational video on Crohn's and colitis. And Mary Kate, I was wondering if you can maybe tell us a little bit about the video that we just watched, and also can you tell us a little about where the money goes that the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation raises?
Sure. So I think, as the video depicted, and as I mentioned before, the walk is intended to be a very family-friendly occasion.
Okay.
We will have plenty of kids' activities. In particular for our walk, because it is the week before Halloween, we've traditionally done some pumpkin decorating. We've done some, lawn games, toilet paper bowling. So we try to tie it into the mission, but make it fun. We'll have a DJ playing. We will have food for breakfast. We'll have lunch refreshments. So it's really, it's meant to be come spend the half day with us. If you don't like what's on our menu, brown bag it and picnic with us. The event is open to the public.
Okay.
But obviously we'd love for people to pre-register so we can plan accordingly for food and water and activities. But yeah, I think Amy can speak to the patient recognition ceremony that we've done in the past, and that we'll carry on doing this year. And
sure. Amy, would you mind telling us about the patient recognition program?
It was incredible to be part of the walk for the first time, and being diagnosed just months before, and the patient recognition ceremony basically recognizes all of the patients that you're there walking for, and everybody gets a chance to be recognized and get up in front of the group and kind of, if they're comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. So it's very nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Jake, I understand you went to camp. You want to talk about it? You want to tell us about it?
Well, what exactly do you want me to talk about?
Well, what did you do? And
well, basically, my mom drove me.
Okay.
And so the first time I went there, they told me what was going to happen.
Okay.
They told me what group I was in. They separated the younger boys, then the medium, then the older, and they kept going.
Sure.
And I was in with the medium boys.
Yeah.
And we each got our own bed.
Yeah.
And it was nice because at the bottom of the bed there was like 3 shelves that we can put our clothes on.
There you go.
It was nice and cozy. I really liked it.
Did you?
And the best part is that the bathroom was right next to me.
There you go. There you go.
And occasionally the counselors would let us bring food into the cabin. Occasionally. And basically, the first person who spoke to me, he was very nice, and he was a counselor. And he was the best. And then basically, we got to do a whole bunch of fun stuff like arts and crafts.
Nice.
I got a lot of exercise done.
There you go.
I got to eat really good foods. And basically on the last day, it got so emotional. I did not want to leave that place.
And where was camp?
New York.
Wow.
Yeah, so CCFA offers 12 camp locations around the country.
Yes, thank you. I was actually
So it's called Camp Oasis.
All right.
And folks from the New England area go to a camp in Elizaville, New York.
All right.
So, and what would you, probably about 150, 160 other campers with you?
Really?
Yeah, and it's, it's meant to be a traditional summer camp experience, but we have medical staff on site, so all of the patients can continue with their medical regimen and treatments. And if they, have a flare or need any specialty food items,
somebody's there.
That can be accommodated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the dietary area goes, with having Crohn's and colitis, are there dietary restrictions of what you can and can't eat? Are there foods that trigger symptoms rather than foods that don't trigger symptoms?
Definitely, and it's different for each patient.
Okay.
So there is no list that we can provide folks.
Okay.
We do, when patients are flaring or when they're initially diagnosed, we do recommend a white diet. So, white toast, apples, bananas, white rice.
Okay.
So keep it very, very basic,
Right.
and then slowly reintroduce different foods. We encourage our patients to keep a food journal, and we do have a booklet they can use, or we have an app they can download called the GI Buddy, and just kind of keep track in terms of what's working and what isn't.
Okay.
But yeah, it does vary patient to patient. A lot of our patients are on a low fiber diet. Some of our patients are gluten free. Some are lactose intolerant. It kind of
varies.
runs the gamut.
It varies.
Yep.
How about you, Jake? Do you have are there any specific foods that trigger?
Mostly like skins, like the apple skins, and seeds. So no strawberries.
Yeah.
No corn, and stuff like that. I can't have any of that stuff.
Oh no. And Amy, what about you?
I love to cook, so it's trial and error. But I've noticed, tomatoes are not my friend. So
Okay. Oh no.
yeah, even though I love them and I'll continue. But,
Exactly.
a lot of different things, like Mary Kate was alluding to. High
Right.
fiber things are not
Now,
great.
Mary Kate, tell us a little. You mentioned that there was an app that people can go download. Tell us about it.
Sure, it's called the GI Buddy.
Okay.
We have a version for iPhones and a version for Androids.
All right.
And it's an opportunity for patients to track what they eat at each meal.
Okay.
And as a general recommendation, we typically will tell patients to eat smaller meals more frequently. So, they can kind of track what works at breakfast time, what works mid-morning, lunch, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just that opportunity to kind of find a diet that works for the individual.
Okay. Now, obviously, there's diets that it varies from obviously person to person. So there's no standard diet for point A, point B, or point C?
There's not.
No.
There's not. It's really, as Amy said, it's very much trial and error, which can be frustrating for our patients. And it's also trial and error week to week. So salad might work for 1 day a week, but not 3 days in a row, or it might work 1 week and not the next. So yeah, it can be tough.
Right. Amy, what would you like to add?
Not too much. I think the walk was super fun, and
Is it?
yeah, definitely. And I know the people that came out to walk with me really, really enjoyed it and had a great time, and it did beat our expectations. So I can't wait for this year.
And Jake, I understand that you're going to speak at the opening ceremonies.
Yep.
What are you going to say? Any ideas?
Well, I'm going to be giving a speech.
All right.
And how the first day I figured out I was diagnosed, and before I figured out I was diagnosed. So when they were trying to figure it out, which took like 9 months, basically the whole school year.
Okay.
I had to skip a lot of days.
Oh boy. All right. We're about to say goodnight, so Mary Kate, website and walk information one more time.
Yes, Saturday, October 24th at Hammonasset, www.cctakesteps.org/CT Shoreline.
All right. Well, before we do wrap up, I actually want to thank you guys personally for coming down and sharing your stories and hanging out with me tonight. Hopefully we'll have you guys on again soon, and we'll see you at the walk.
We appreciate it. Thanks for
All
having
right.
us.
Thanks. Good night, and we'll see you next week.